If you're bringing public art to a community, you're really bringing about a transformation in that community. It's the creative process, it's the arts, it's listening to a piece of music, it's looking at a public sculpture.
You know, you are going to learn a lot about art, but how many of you would like to learn a little bit more about your own community? We'll learn a little bit about that, a lot more about your own community. How you can give back, how you can help others.
This is new to me. I've never been to an art gallery. This is my favorite art gallery. I've been in the program, and I loved it.
Muhammad Ali inspired a lot of people. So me growing up, he's been one of my favorite role models. He's been one of really my top three. My number one was Michael Jordan, because I used to always love playing ball when I was little. So it's always been Michael Jordan, my big brother, and Muhammad Ali. And when I was little, me and my brother used to always play fight, and he used to always try to pick Muhammad Ali as himself, and I had to pick like George Foreman or somebody. And I mean, he's just inspiring, just period. School-wise, just being a nice person. How to dedicate yourself to becoming something excellent, and just constantly pushing yourself to never give up, having perseverance.
This kid's got a left. This kid's got a right. If he hits you once, you're asleep for the night.
What we try to do with kids, regardless of their situation and circumstances, is how do you unleash their potential? And you give them, our role is to give them the opportunities and the experiences to do that, and this is just a great place to do that. Anna does a great job of combining not just the arts, but using the arts to teach things like Ali's philosophies and of life and lessons learned.
Who can name one of the core principles?
Confidence.
Confidence, absolutely. What else do we have? Respect, that's 2. There are 6 core principles I really want to zero in on. We got confidence and respect. What else do we have?
Leadership.
Leadership. She mentioned that. What about dedication? Does dedication sound familiar?
Yeah.
Okay. We got confidence, dedication, respect. We still have 3 more. We have conviction, we have giving, and we have spirituality.
I wrote something once. It says rivers, lakes, and streams. They all have different names, but they all contain water. So does religions have different names, and they all contain God and the truth.
The mission of the Ali Center is twofold. The first part is to promote respect and understanding between people all over the world, including within our communities. And the other part of the Ali Center is to inspire people to find the greatness within them. All right? Because all of us have greatness. So as we're starting, to talk tonight, this is only part of your journey, which you've started with Anna and other people here in the community, towards expressing your own greatness. And that's really, something that's so important.
We've said, the words I am are really important, because when you put words after them, it defines you.
You fabulous.
Thanks. He ain't go with that trying to flirt, bro. He gets no back. Hey, you know what? I'm okay with that. I think I am fabulous. So thank you.
I ain't flirt.
This might be the most challenging lasagna. Thank you. Perfect. As a child, I remember my mom taking us down Main Street, and there were so many shops. And you've heard the term tipping point. It was at the highest peaked out tipping point, during that time. And I didn't realize that within just a couple of years, everything was going to just start to fall away and change and close up shops. But I just remember walking down Main Street and going to great little restaurants and cafes and shopping, and it was all there. And then I moved away, just a couple of towns over, but I moved away, raised a family, and kind of got plugged back into Benton Harbor when I worked at Krasl Art Center. So at the Krasl, they would have a lot of outreach programs. One of them specifically was an African kit of 100 artifacts, and I took it throughout Benton Harbor, like even in the 90s, I would say early 90s, until I actually left in 2007. So taking these kits around to Sorter and Morton and all the schools that were open in the 90s still, most of them are closed now, getting to know the kids there, getting to know everybody in the school, the teachers and the principals, and really a light came on and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's some things that are needed here. Public art is just in your face wherever you go, right? If it's in a town or a city, it's going to be anywhere you look. It's going to be around. It's going to be there to view. And it presents a symbol or a face. Now this I Am the Greatest sculpture really does this. It's really important how much it does this. It presents a symbol or a face expressing positive change in our community. Do you think Muhammad Ali is a positive figure?
Yes.
And creates positive sort of imagery and change? Definitely. So we can actually say, when people say to you, what is that orange thing that I see around in Benton Harbor? You can say, that's our symbol of, yeah, that's a symbol of Muhammad Ali, but it's a symbol of our community.
I'll play it faster. Very good. Got another one? Okay. Did you guys learn anything about public art?
I learned that public art could be anything. Like, it could be different types of, like, it could be different things. Like, graffiti could be public art.
Brings me to your sculpture too. A big fan of the Bulls.
I did it really because I saw a picture of Muhammad Ali and Michael Jordan together. And you know, Michael Jordan was also a great person too. So like without Michael Jordan, I know Michael Jordan came later after Muhammad Ali, but I know somehow he inspired him too.
The man who has no imagination has no wings.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And that gave me when he said wings, it gave me the idea of putting wings on the outside and saying that scripture on front. But, I mean, not scripture, right, I'm sorry. Speech on the front, but said it in my own words.
So the man who has no imagination
has no wings.
That's great.
Which means, well, to me, if you have no imagination, that means like you won't go very far in life.
Right.
So I would just take this pencil and write it on there. And then what you can do, once you've got your pencil going really well, is go back over it with paint, right? It takes a little less time with the pencil, you know? Color that's brighter, it's gonna look like it pushes towards you, even if it's just all on the same plane, right? A color that is darker is gonna look like it pulls away from you.
Oh, you're just doing it like that?
Yeah, we'll see now if you stand back, your eyes start to go inside that box and see what's inside of it, right? Mm-hmm. It's a way of like directing your eye towards something.
No major innovation was ever done through pure math or pure science. There's always creativity involved. And that's one of the things that we're lacking right now. So projects like the I Am the Greatest project are meant to fill in the gap where public arts education has been cut. It's the private sector coming forward and saying, hey, this is important stuff. These are ways that kids can really get to the next level. It helps them think on their own. It helps them think on their feet. It helps them take a concept to a finished design. And that's an actual transferable skill that will work in every aspect of their life.
The symbolism here, Saint Sebastian, is different than here, right? You've got a whole other kind of association when an Esquire magazine puts an image of Muhammad Ali with arrows. If you know the context of when this was shot, in the 1960s, right around this time, like Vietnam War is going on, Muhammad Ali doesn't want to go fight in the Vietnam War, so he's stripped of his boxing titles and all the awards he's been given and all this stuff, and he's kind of set up like a martyr.
The statement said that Clay would have been untrue to his religion if he'd accepted the draft. Clay and his advisors were more anxious that they should be recognized as a proper church, whose ministers were on a level with other ministers.
So Esquire decides to do a magazine cover where these arrows represent something like this, right? So then when Salve gets a hold of it, he makes a work of art. He's relating all this back. So when you see this and you know the history of it, it'll take you right through Ali, but right all the way back to Saint Sebastian. And if you know what the arrow symbolism means, it takes you back even further.
The spears of adversity is what they're called, okay? And that was to symbolize, at the time, all of the things that Muhammad Ali personally went through to get to where he is.
Everybody's gonna have some type of obstacle. The main thing is how you're gonna overcome it. For a long time, I was just putting it on me that my brother was gone. But I finally overcame that and realized, you know, he was there for me.
Learning about being kind, taking yourself, I guess, out of yourself and looking at your community and people around you and how can you help others.
The whole idea of creating something is putting something in the world that wasn't here before and making that world a better place in some way, right? And if you can turn it into a positive, then, you know, you would be a real strong person like that. I can already tell that, right?
Congratulations.
Yay!